There are a ton of AI video generators out there, but that begs the question, which one is best? Well, my friend, you've come to the right place. In this video, I am going to rank all of the major AI video generators that are available to us on the market. This video is specifically designed for people who are looking to make AI films. And I should also note that I am in no way sponsored by any of these companies. This is completely our objective opinion. I hope you find it to be helpful. Let's hop in. So first up, we need to meet our challengers. We have Haiper, Hotshot, Kling, Luma, Pika, Pixverse, and Runway. In this video, I am not going to cover open source AI video tools. While I do think they are fun to play around with, the truth is they're pretty tricky for the average AI video creator to use, and the results are just not that good. So we want to focus on the best tools in this video. We'll be ranking all of our competitors from S tier all the way down to G. In order to give all of these AI video generators a fair shot, I had to create a criteria to judge them by. So I decided to look at each one of these tools in 9 different categories. The first is stability and realism, basically how good is the tool at creating realistic videos. The second is video length and frame rate, which is pretty self-explanatory. Can you make longer videos? Do you have more control over the frame rate? And is it actually useful to a filmmaker who creates a film in 24 frames per second? The third criteria is the ease of use of the platform. So we want it to be easy enough to where you don't have to spend a lot of time learning how to use the tool to create an impressive video. The fourth is the ability for it to create text to video, basically typing in a prompt and generating a video. The fifth is having the ability to create image to video. So it's very important to have image to video inside of a tool because you want to be able to control the consistency from shot to shot. And if you're just doing text to video alone, it can be very challenging to get that consistency. The sixth criteria is the ability to take direction. So while it's great to insert an image and get a video, you want to be able to direct that video and push it in a specific direction. Telling great stories is all about having creative control. The seventh criteria is how long it takes to actually create a video. The eighth criteria is the resolution and the overall quality of the pixels. Some tools may give you more resolution, but the actual pixels that you're looking at may be soft or kind of weird in some sort of way. So resolution isn't the only criteria that you're looking for when it comes to quality in the details. And the final criteria is cost and availability. You can have the best tool in the world, but if it's too expensive or not available, it's really not that helpful to you as a filmmaker. Okay, I think that's enough setup. If you like this experiment and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Let's get to it. The first tool we're going to look at is Haiper. When Haiper jumped into the AI video world, it really took the industry by storm. And you actually can create some videos for free using their free subscription. But that begs the question, is it any good? For testing initial realism, I'm going to use the examples that the companies use on their explore pages. Basically, I want to see the best of the best. So we have this looping video of this Power Ranger character here. You can see it's definitely cartoonish, but it did a pretty good job. We have this wild video that basically flies through a log and ends up on this like Victorian mirror. We have this shot of waves at a beach, which I think the waves are just like continually rolling, so it might be a flood coming in. We have this shot of this fish here, which actually looks pretty good. And finally, we have this shot of this palace. There is a little bit of warping going on there, and the lens flare is completely static, which doesn't look very realistic. But the overall movement with the parallaxing looks pretty cool. Now, a lot of the movements that we're going to get from Haiper are pretty static. I do think that Haiper can be good with physics, but honestly, it's not the best. Let's take a look at how easy it is to generate a video using Haiper. All you have to do is go to the Haiper website. You can click on the prompt box at the bottom, make sure that you have text to video selected, and type in a prompt. For all of our prompts in all of these tests, I'll say a sci-fi astronaut wearing an orange spacesuit, walks around a futuristic Mars base, warm color grading, spaceships landing in the background. And then all you have to do is go ahead and create your video. So this is the generation that we got from Haiper, and it doesn't look very realistic at all. I do think that generally it did follow some of the prompt. We do have an astronaut wearing an orange spacesuit. He is walking around Mars, but a lot of the organic movement, like the weight in his steps, doesn't look very realistic. We don't see ships landing in the background. And I really don't think you would ever confuse this with real live action or VFX footage. But that being said, image to video is a much better feature to have if you're trying to create a consistent film. So to create an image to video in Haiper, all you have to do is go to the same window and make sure you go to image to video. Now you can put in your first frame. So you just click the first frame button, and we actually have some images here. We have 5 different images that we'll use for our generations. We'll go ahead and select this one and go ahead and click create. So here are some of the generations that we have from Haiper. And you can see that while there are some aspects that look good, a lot of the movement is really restricted. There's really just not a lot of overall movement. And anytime there is some really dynamic movement, the people and characters tend to warp in a very strange way. In this video here, we see just like a slow zoom in on this asteroid scene. And you can see that towards the end of the video, there's a lot more contrast in those rocks in the background. I'm not sure why it does that in Haiper, but you definitely have some quality loss the longer the videos go on. We also have this shot here, and there's just not a lot of movement. This shot here of this guy looking at the camera, again, just not a lot of movement. And his eyes get really weird there at the end. Now, Haiper does have a few advanced features that allow you to direct your scene. For example, if you go to your image to video, you have the ability to add multiple frames to basically set keyframes that you want the video to work through as it creates your video. You also have the ability to repaint and change certain aspects of your scene, and you do have the ability to extend video clips. Haiper is a little slow. It takes about 3 minutes to create your videos. And I should note that the videos are in 24 frames per second, and they can be up to 8 seconds long, which is helpful. At least it is in a 24 frames per second format that you can use in a film project. Now, honestly, in terms of resolution and details, I really don't think Haiper is doing a great job at giving you a quality output that you could use on a big creative project. Now, Haiper does allow you to create 10 free generations per day, which is great, but they also have a $30 a month plan that gives you unlimited video generations. So while Haiper is a fun and easy tool to use, the truth is the quality just hasn't caught up to the competition at this point. So Haiper gets a C. Next up is Hotshot. Hotshot is a new AI video generator that has popped up in just the last few days. And the wild part is, it was created by a team of 4 people. Hotshot is claiming that the quality is close to SORA, but let's find out. Here are some generations from Hotshot. We have this woman using this cell phone, and honestly, it looks pretty good. While there are some characters that kind of morph in the background, I think at a quick glance, you would never really know that this footage isn't real. We also have this shot of this guy that's just like reading a book in the clouds. Not too shabby. The shot of this like creepy cat character with like human fingers in Paris. Okay. We have this shot of this woman who's like holding flour and I guess like arguing with the person with the camera. This shot of this woman riding on this train looks honestly pretty realistic. Parallaxing looks great. The lighting on her face looks pretty realistic to what you would expect from that light source. So it looks pretty good. We have this shot of these corgis here, a little warping on the ears, but not too bad. We have this shot of this woman looking at you from inside of a lake. A lot of these AI video generators like showcasing water footage because AI is actually pretty good at rendering water. We have this shot of this teddy bear playing guitar in the rainforest. Okay. A kangaroo eating popcorn at the movies. Kind of some creepy mouth movements there, but not too bad. So we're off to a good start, but how easy is it to create a video using this tool? Well, it's actually super easy. You just sign into the account, paste in your prompt, and then go ahead and click render. And after about 3 minutes, we have our video of an astronaut walking around on Mars, and there is some wonkiness, like the walk cycle looks off. It looks like he's limping. Maybe he got attacked by an alien. And it's kind of funny because there's some warping on his helmet, and what I think it's trying to do is put hair in that spot because it was trained on so much footage of people that obviously have their hair blowing in the breeze. And then the background looks okay. It really looks much more like Utah than Mars, but you know, it did an okay job. I don't see spaceships landing per se. It kind of looks like construction equipment, but honestly, not a bad job. Now, unfortunately, using Hotshot, you don't have the ability to input an image and create a video, which is kind of a catastrophic flaw at the moment. I'm sure they'll release this very soon, but right now that makes it very hard to use in a filmmaking context. You also are really just limited to typing in a prompt, so if you want to change things, it's a back and forth process, and that's tricky because you only get 2 generations per day for free. The videos that you get from Hotshot are 24 frames per second and 5 seconds long, which is great. Now, in terms of resolution, it's okay, it's not the best. So the videos that you'll get are 1344 by 768, which, you know, is a little better than 720p, but nowhere close to the high resolution formats that we use in day-to-day life. So you probably would need to use an AI upscaler if you want to get maximum resolution and use it on a professional project. I should also note that the overall sharpness of the videos are pretty good from Hotshot. I imagine that it will only improve from here. So while there are limitations when it comes to art direction and really getting the creation exactly the way you want, I imagine that we're only scratching the surface of what will be possible using this tool since they just released it. Now, in terms of cost, Hotshot is pretty darn expensive. They charge you $99 for 200 generations a month. And if I had to contextualize this for a professional project, I'd say that 200 generations give you about the amount of content you'd need to create a 30-second commercial or a very short film. Obviously, you're going to get much more footage than that, but it's all about picking and choosing the right footage for your edit and using the right takes to tell a story. So you're not going to just create one prompt and use it in your film. You're going to create multiple prompts and then pick and choose the right one for your project. So in conclusion with Hotshot, while the tool is pretty cool, the truth is they don't have the advanced features you need to create a compelling film at this point. They probably will in the future, but they're just not there yet. So Hotshot, you get a D. Next up is Kling. Kling is an AI video and image generation tool from China that has kind of developed a cult following. I'm thinking about calling those followers Klingons because I just think that's a great name. But is Kling any good? Let's take a look. So we have this shot of this lunar base. Looks pretty good. It's a little soft, but not too bad. We have this shot of a volcanic eruption in the city. Pretty good. Shot of a dragon flying out of this sand. Definitely some distortion there, but really dynamic movement, so not too bad. We have this shot of this like reflective pyramid in the desert. Okay. And the shot of just this cute little dog swimming in a pool. So Kling already has some pretty good realism when it comes to physics. Now there is artifacting in the video and there is kind of some weird outlining that happens in the generations, but the quality is really not that bad. To create a video in Kling, all you have to do is go to your account, go to AI videos, then you just type in a prompt. Now, I should note that if you have the pro version of Kling, where you actually have credits, you can click on professional mode to just get the best quality footage possible. The standard mode is more reminiscent of tools like Runway Gen 2. Professional mode is just more advanced. You also have some of the advanced features in here to change things like the aspect ratio, you can adjust the camera movement, and you also have the ability to go in and type in negative prompts. So when you're ready, all you have to do is click and generate to create a video. And you can see that in terms of adhering to the prompt, it actually did a really good job. We have this astronaut walking around Mars, there's spaceships flying in the background, and there's a lot of realism in the physics of how he is interacting with the ground. I think it did a really good job. To create an image to video in Kling, all you have to do is go to image to video, and then you simply drag in an image, just like that. And you can, of course, type in a prompt, put it in professional mode, and adjust any setting you want. Here's a few examples that we generated. We have this astronaut walking around this like Martian base. Looks pretty good. We have the shot of this man looking around. I love the handheld movements of the camera. Honestly, this looks a lot like live action footage. I'm not sure what's happening in this video, but the reference image that it used was a little strange, so I'll let it have a pass on that one. And we have this woman just sitting here. There's not a lot of life in her face. I kind of wish there was a little bit more movement. I'm not too sure what's happening behind her head there. So generally speaking, I'm really impressed with the image to video clips that we got from Kling. Now, the generations in Kling can be a little slow. It takes a little over 3 minutes to create a 5-second video. And one of the catastrophic problems with Kling is the fact that it generates videos in 30 frames per second instead of 24. So once you have the ability to change that to 24 frames per second, it will be much more useful. The resolution is 720p, but honestly, the quality of the image is pretty darn sharp. With Kling, you have the ability to create 2 free video clips per day, but for $92 a month, you can create 228 video clips. So pretty pricey, but the overall quality is not bad. So Kling is one of the better AI video generators that are out there. Once they allow their tool to get 24 frames per second, it will be a real game changer for AI filmmakers. So I'm going to go ahead and give Kling a B+. If you're enjoying this video and want to learn how to be an AI filmmaker yourself, you are in the right place. I want to let you know about our AI filmmaking bootcamp over at Curious Refuge. We created the world's first and best AI filmmaking school designed to help you learn how to create compelling AI projects. You can learn more by clicking the link below. We have cohorts that start every single month, and we'd love for you to learn alongside us. We also host meetups all around the world, so be sure to check out our website if you want to find a meetup near you. Our next tool that we're going to look at is Luma. Luma started out as an AI 3D scanning tool, but they released Luma Dream Machine recently, and the quality of the footage really took the industry by storm. It does warp human movements, and they can get a little carried away, but honestly, the quality is not that bad. You can generally get realistic shots whenever you use the tool. However, I should note that those shots are more than likely going to be in slow motion. I'm guessing that the training data that Luma used had a lot of slow motion footage. Luma recently came out with their 1.5 text to video model. Let's take a look at how to use it for yourself. So all you have to do is log into Luma Labs, go to the prompt window, type in your prompt. There is a button to enhance your prompt if you want to, and then you can go ahead and click render. After about 3 minutes, we have this footage here of this astronaut. He is on Mars, technically. I don't know if any of those ships are landing, and he's certainly not walking around, so it only adhered to some of the prompt. I'd also say that this does not look photorealistic. It looks a bit more kind of animated or cartoony. To create an image to video in Luma, all you have to do is go to the same prompt window and make sure that you go ahead and click on that image icon. Then you can go through and select the image that you're looking for. We'll go ahead and pick that one. And you can add in an in-frame if you want it to basically interpolate between 2 images, which is pretty cool. Once you're ready, you can go ahead and click render. So let's take a look at our footage. We have the shot of this guy walking down a corridor. Looks pretty good. The walls do get a little soft there towards the end. We also have this shot of this ship taking off, and it just really takes a turn there towards the end. We have this shot of a ship in a hangar. I like the parallaxing as it gets closer, but the characters really break down there towards the end. We have this shot of this guy kind of just standing heroically on a launch pad. The movement is pretty good, but the characters in the background and the character movement of the main character is completely static, so they all look like statues. We also have another generation of that same clip, and this one looks much better. So while the main character is not really moving, the people in the background, there is some realistic movement there. We have this shot of this woman. Looks pretty good. I like the reflections on her face. This shot of this man here. Oh man, it just gets weird with his face there at the end. I have no idea what's happening. So the videos from Luma are in 24 frames per second. They are 5 seconds long, but you can extend them. And the overall resolution is 1360 by 752, so a little bit higher than 720p. The details are decent, but there is some softness, especially on human faces, that make it not ideal if you're working on a film project. Now, you can get up to 30 generations for free using their free tier, which is great. And if you pay $29 a month, you can get 150 generations. So while that's still $29, it does make it much cheaper than some of the other AI video tools that we've mentioned so far. So Luma is pretty good in terms of quality. Not the best, but also not bad. You could create some pretty cool projects with Luma, but they're not going to be 100% realistic just yet. So Luma gets a mid-level B. Next up is Pika Labs. Pika is an AI video generation platform, and they have a ton of features inside of their website. They are super engaged with the community, and they've teamed up with Curious Refuge to host meetups, events, and competitions around the world. But how does their video generator compare? Well, let's take a look. These are examples from Pika's Explore page. We did not create these ourselves. We have this shot here. It looks like the sheep are kind of distorting there towards the end. It also has a very slow push in. It's okay. This footage here, the man's face, definitely starting to distort a little bit. This sheep looks okay. The way the clouds are moving, that's not quite realistic. We have the shot of this cowboy here. It's okay, but again, we're getting that slow push in again. We have this man on this horse. There's just a lot of jitteriness in the video generation model. And the man's face, if you just zoom in there, I have no idea what's happening. It looks like someone just took a brush and like smeared his face. Now, to create a video inside of Pika, all you have to do is go to their website, and there's a prompt box at the bottom. You just type in your prompt, you can adjust your settings, and then go ahead and click render. So it's really easy to use. After about a minute, we have this video footage here, which has almost no movement, while the overall composition is kind of what we were going for. There's no ships landing. There's just simply not a lot of movement there. So it didn't do a great job at adhering to the prompt. To create image to video in Pika, all you have to do is go to the image or video button and bring in your image. And then you can type in your prompt and go ahead and run it. We have our video clips here of this man, and he's talking. There is kind of some softness. The lips don't look great, but it's okay, I guess. The physics here, the guy kind of looks like he's levitating off the ground, so not loving that. This shot here, very simple, but I guess it's okay. This shot is okay. Also don't really know what's going on with the flickering and the fire in the background and his helmet, very weird. This shot here just decides to get out of focus and then back in focus, so not sure what's happening there. Now, Pika does have some advanced editing tools that allow you to control camera movement, in-painting, lip syncing, and a few other options that could be helpful to you as a filmmaker. The frame rate is 24 frames per second. You can generate clips that are 4 seconds long and extend them. The video clips are 720p natively, but the cool thing is you can up-res them directly in Pika, so you don't need to use a third-party video up-reser like Topaz Video AI. That's actually pretty interesting because you can get some of the largest resolution from any AI video generator using Pika. Now, in terms of cost, when you sign up for Pika, you'll get basically 3 generations per day for free. But if you pay $35 a month, you get 200 video generations. So it makes it one of the cheaper AI video options that are available. They also have an unlimited option for $70. Pika has a ton of features, but the core tool is kind of starting to fall behind. So Pika gets a C. Next up is Pixverse. Pixverse used to be completely free, and they really made a lot of noise in the industry. They now have paid tiers, and you can't use it unlimited for free anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But how good is their video tool? Let's take a look. We have this video of someone's named Sarah, and there's like an ocean in the background. Actually, not too bad. Some video footage of fish here. There is some warping on the fins, but I think at a quick glance, you might not know that it's AI generated. We have the shot of this coffee. I don't know if there's an earthquake happening because there's a lot of movement there with the bubbles. And I love this shot of this like furry character at a computer. It's also funny because they're looking like at the camera and not at the computer, but not too bad. And then finally, we have this robot harvesting some grain. To create a video with Pixverse, all you have to do is log into their tool, type in your prompt, and then you just go ahead and click generate. It's pretty easy. We generated this example here. Oh no. Something catastrophically bad has happened to this astronaut. The ship just like goes through his body. So I don't know if that means that the ship is a ghost or the astronaut is a ghost. It's a little unclear, but it seems like it's having some trouble understanding the physics here. To do image to video in Pixverse, it's super easy. All you have to do is click on the image icon and then bring in your image, just like that, and then you can render it. After just a few seconds, we have these video clips here, but man, I don't know what's happening with the distortion in the background there. We have this video clip, there's just like bats flying around the top, I guess, kind of weird. This clip here, which is okay, but then whatever that like drone machine is, it kind of starts getting weird, and oh my gosh, it just like turns into a random ship there at the end. And then we have the video clip of this guy here, and his lips are weird, and then his hand, oh my god, his fingers are just like so long. He's 100% an alien trying to pretend to be a human. And then finally, we have this clip here of this woman. Okay. It's kind of okay. And then, oh, geez, she just like changes completely there at the end. So the videos generated in Pixverse are 30 frames per second, which is not ideal. And the resolution natively is 576p. So that's very low resolution. And in the details, especially if you look at some of the footage, it's really soft, which would make it very hard to use in a professional context. Now, in terms of cost, you can create 6 videos for free, and then you get 2 videos per day for free, which is okay, I guess. But if you wanted to pay, you can pay $30 a month to get 333 videos per month. The quality from Pixverse simply does not justify the price. So Pixverse, you get a solid F. Next up is Runway. Runway is one of the most popular AI video generation tools in the world, but the team at Runway has a suite of AI video tools that you can use on their website. Using the Runway platform, you can do everything from rotoscoping to green screen removal. You even have the ability to generate synced lips and voiceovers inside of their platform. They also host their AI Film Festival each year, and we've been lucky enough to have some members of their team on our podcast and office hours to share the latest tips and techniques using their tool. But all that being said, how good are the videos that you can generate inside of Runway? Here are a few examples from Runway's website. So we have just this close-up shot of these ants, and it zooms out to this like suburban area. I mean, not too bad. We have this clip of this man watching TV, I guess, and yeah, it looks pretty realistic. It's pretty dark, but like not bad. We have this shot of this like King Kong / Godzilla character, like if they fuse together, walking around outside. Not too bad. This video shot of this woman just riding on a train. Honestly, one of the more realistic AI videos that we've seen up to this point. We have this other shot of this woman here driving in a car. There is kind of some soft resolution on her face, and the window, like the water that's coming down on the window, is kind of distorting a little bit, but at a quick glance, you wouldn't know that that's not real. So to create a video using Runway Gen 3, all you have to do is click on Try Runway, and then you go to Get Started. Now you can simply type into the prompt box your prompt. You can adjust your settings here. We'll go ahead and select 5 seconds and go ahead and click Generate. After about a minute, we have this video footage here, which looks pretty good. We have the astronaut walking. There's, you know, kind of the weight to his step. The ship, I guess you could say it's landing there. And then we have this like Martian base. Now, it doesn't really feel like all of these elements live together. It looks like a really bad compositing job, but it did adhere to the prompt. To do image to video in Runway Gen 3, all you have to do is go to the prompt here and then click the box and then bring in your images. We'll bring in our image, click open, and you then have the ability to change your prompt in any sort of way. There's a very specific way in which you want to prompt and direct scenes using Runway. So we actually have a video tutorial on YouTube that you can check out if you want to learn more about that process. So we have our image here. You also have the ability to define if you want it to be your first frame or your last frame, which is pretty cool. And then you can go ahead and click Generate. So we have some of our video outputs here. So our clip of our character just like zooms in and then there's like a lens flare all of a sudden. No idea what's happening there. And we have this video of this woman here and she just blinked with two eyes separately. So I have no idea what happened there. We have the shot of this man walking down this corridor. There's a lot of like weird reflections happening. I think it's interpreting that corridor as like really shiny metal. Okay. This video clip of this guy here. You can tell that Runway really wants to change the exposure of your shots. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're working with the tool. We have this shot here. Actually not too bad. I think it did pretty good. And then we have this clip here, which is kind of static. There's really not a lot of movement. So Runway videos are generated in 24 frames per second, which is great. And you do have the ability to generate clips that are up to 10 seconds long. And you also have the ability to extend clips, which is pretty great. Now, natively using the tool, you can generate video clips that are 768 by 1280, so a little bit better than 720p. The video footage can be upscaled inside of Runway, and you get even more quality, which is pretty great. Now, in terms of cost, the free option when you're using Runway gives you about 3 videos. So you're not going to get a lot of video clips using the free option. If you want to go the paid route for $35, you can get 75 video clips per month. And that's 5-second video clips using Runway Gen 3. But they also have an unlimited feature for $95 if you want to go that route. So if you work for a studio or for a company that can pay for your subscription, that might be your best option. With Runway, it's a hard balance between price and quality. I think generally speaking, I think Runway gets an A-. And our final tool is SORA. SORA is an incredible tool that has the ability to input images, it can extend footage, and just generally create realistic assets. But the problem is, SORA is not available to the masses, so we can't even test it here. So long story short, while SORA is amazing, and I think it really will be one of the best AI video generation tools when it comes out, it really just can't really live on this list. So that means that SORA goes into its own very special S category. Hopefully we can play around with that soon. So as you can see, when it comes to creating AI videos, it's a very tough call. Kling creates really dynamic movements, and I've been really impressed personally with the quality of the footage. Luma is also an amazing tool, and some of the advanced functionalities like first frame and last frame make it very helpful when you're working on a commercial project. And finally, Runway Gen 3 is an amazing tool for filmmakers. I think the cool part about using Runway is the fact that it also can be used to do many other aspects of the filmmaking process. From creating images to rotoscoping, you'll find a ton of features over on their website that can be used with your unlimited plan. So in this test, I'd say that Runway wins, but it was a very close call. So there you go. That's our overview of the best AI video tools available to filmmakers. Obviously, AI video tools change every single week. So if you want to be up to date on the latest AI video trends, you can subscribe to our AI film news by filling out the email sign-up box over at Curious Refuge. And you can subscribe here on YouTube to get AI film news and tutorials directly here on the platform. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.